How do Google Classroom and Schoology compare? At the Bethlehem Area School District, we have been using Google Classroom for about 2 years. With the introduction of Schoology as the official learning management system, or LMS, for our district, many teachers are asking, why would we use Schoology when we already have Google Classroom? This presentation is designed to describe each tool's purpose and capabilities. I'll start with Google Classroom. Google Classroom is considered by many as a Google Drive management system. It was created in order to facilitate the Google Drive workflow with students. Before Google Classroom, students would share documents with other students and their teacher. So if a teacher would want to access student documents, they'd either go to an email message that they received in Gmail or their shared with me area in their Google Drive. It could be very tedious once many students started sharing more documents with teachers and this area became more and more populated with items. With the introduction of Google Classroom, the sharing and distribution of shared documents has been simplified in both an easy-to-use interface and organization of the Google Drive. Here's a screenshot of Google Classroom at the top. In the back end, it's even more impressive as Google Classroom creates this folder called Classroom in the Google Drive of both teacher and students who use Google Classroom. All assignments are organized first by a class folder, and then inside there is a folder for each assignment, and everything is kept organized. So in order to compare Google Classroom and Schoology, what I'm going to do is use a Venn diagram to describe what Google Classroom can do and what Schoology can do, and how the two overlap. So let's start mapping out Google Classroom capabilities. As stated earlier, Google Classroom's primary purpose was the organization of sharing and storing of Google Docs between teachers and students. Google Drive stores all of the Google content. To use Google Classroom, both teachers and students need to have a Google Apps for Education account, such as their BASD Schools account. Teachers must create a class in their Google Classroom area and then give out the class code to their students or enroll each student in their Google Classrooms. The Google accounts are created by the IT department at the district. Everything in Google Classroom is displayed in a stream very much like Facebook. Teachers can create announcements and assignments for students in Google Classroom. In addition, teachers can post questions for students to answer individually or discuss with their classrooms. There is a place to keep track of assignments that have been marked done or turned in. Grades can be communicated within the Google Classroom app. However, the official place for grades must be entered into Teacher Access Center by teachers in order for both students and parents to view them. In fact, Teacher Access Center is the official place for grades in the Bethlehem Area School District. In Google Classroom, posts can be scheduled to be hidden in a draft mode or scheduled to appear on a certain date or time. Teachers can annotate and make comments on Google Docs or on Google Classroom assignments. However, this takes place mainly in Google Drive, not Google Classroom, since Google Classroom manages the Google Drive workflow. Teachers and students can receive notifications when certain things happen, such as when someone posts something to Google Classroom or they received a grade on an item they've submitted. Teachers can post YouTube videos, links to websites, Google Documents, and other types of documents or polls. Teachers can also post an auto-graded quiz with the help of Google Forms. There is a quiz template or the Flubaroo Google add-on. Students can find out each other's email address and click on the name to email each other. They're using their Google email to communicate individually. There are mobile apps for Google Classroom for iOS and Android. However, they will also need Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Presentations, Google Slides, and Gmail to access the Google Classroom documents and their Google Mail. Parents do not yet have access to Google Classroom. However, in fall 2016, they will have the ability to receive notifications at an email address. So let's talk about Schoology. Schoology is considered a learning management system, or an LMS. It's the official and supported LMS of the Bethlehem Area School District. A learning management system is a software application or web-based technology used to plan, implement, and assess a specific learning process. Typically, a learning management system provides an instructor with a way to create and deliver content, monitor student participation, and assess student performance. So let's get back to our Venn diagram. Schoology is a unified platform, so many of the functions of a paperless classroom are tools in the system. There's no need to have a Google Apps for Education account to have an account in Schoology. However, teachers and students will have a Google Apps for Education account, and they can link that account to Schoology so they can pull documents directly from their drive into Schoology in a single action without downloading or uploading, or they could post a link. In fact, Schoology accounts in Bethel Mary School District are associated with eSchool Plus and Teacher Access Center, and they're automatically created as such. Courses are automatically generated by eSchool Plus, as are enrollments in each course in Schoology. Teachers and students are automatically enrolled and updated as their information changes in eSchool Plus. The capabilities for parents to have an account do exist. We will not be using them right away. Teachers can create announcements and assignments just like Google Classroom. Both students and teachers have a dashboard area to keep track of upcoming dates and assignments. One big difference with Schoology is that teachers have the ability to organize and reorder content much more easily. In fact, they can nest it in folders to keep it organized by units, by time, and so on and so forth. They can add links, videos, test or quiz, I can auto-grade, and even retain question pools for later use. And they have that discussion board feature. Assignments are also part of Schoology. In fact, there is more functionality in the system than in Google Classroom. When writing assignments, one can use styles that are customary in web apps. One can embed multimedia within the assignment description, link, or switch to HTML mode. One can attach files, links, resources, or even record audio and video for students to watch. No need to leave Schoology. The tools are all there to do that. Teachers can and should give assignments and give assignment categories, which must match categories in the eSchool Plus when syncing. They can give an assignment to certain students so they can differentiate. They can align an assignment with learning objectives, keep track of grade statistics and comments, and copy to another course like Google Classroom. Teachers can annotate and grade submissions from within Schoology. In Schoology, teachers can set completion rules. This would be especially helpful if you wanted students to access content in sequential order. There is a full-blown grade book in Schoology that is fed by graded activities in the course. Those grades can sync with Teacher Access Center in eSchool Plus. There is a mastery system to keep track of which students have achieved learning objectives, a badging system to provide incentives or micro-credentials for skills attained, analytics to keep track of whether students are logging in and what items are directing their attention and how much time they're spending on them. There's even a workload planning module that keeps track of what students are assigned at a given time to prevent overload. In addition, one can participate in Schoology groups. These can be groups created for teachers at your school or public groups regarding a specific topic like flipped classrooms. This is a powerful collaboration tool. The resource area is unique to Schoology. One can store personal items and personal resources, access group resources, public resources, or apps like Google Drive, Khan Academy. In fact, there are more web apps available in Schoology than in Google Classroom at this time. One can find quiz questions, assignments, and complete modules of instruction in the public or group resources and bring it into their courses. In addition, students can create digital portfolios using content they have uploaded to Schoology. There is a mobile app, notifications for individuals, courses, and groups, and teachers and students have the option of getting email, texts, or both kinds of notifications. So which one should you use? I think it depends on what you would like to do. If you're mainly interested in organizing Google Drive and giving simple assignments, use Google Classroom. If you're interested in organizing content in a logical manner, differentiating assignments, controlling when students can see content, graded items feed into a unified gradebook, syncing grades to eSchool Plus directly, giving badges out, using e-portfolios with your students, or just having a single place to manage all the learning activities, use Schoology. Thank you.